Welcome to Court Helicopter News on episode 2, where we are dealing with the question of that foreigner who spat on the face of a police officer. If he is sentenced to prison, what does the law in Cap 90 of the Prisons Act provide for? Do you know that in Prisons Act, there are 3 things that are very, very fundamental. If you misbehave in prison, if you are sentenced to serve in prison and you misbehave, do you know you can get corporal punishment? Do you know you can be caned seriously in prison? I know many of you will say corporal punishment was banned, but Section 50 of the Prisons Act provides for the manner in which punishment can be given. That is, prison offenses. In Section 50, it goes, the minister may prescribe what acts or omission by prisoners shall be deemed to be prison offenses and shall prescribe which of such offenses shall be minor prison offenses and which shall be aggravated prison offenses. Section 51, and I want you to go look at it very well. Section 51 provides that an officer in charge, if he is a senior prison officer or administrative officer of any prison, might provide for the following punishment. That is, a punishment is provided for in Section 52, where it is said, in Section 55, where corporal punishment is awarded, the number of strokes shall be limited to a maximum of 10 strokes in the case of persons of or under the apparent age of 16 years, and in all other cases or to 18 strokes, and shall be inflicted with such type of cane and be prescribed. Can you imagine that if corporal punishment is prescribed, you will be caned? If you are below 16 years, you'll be caned with the canes maximum of 10 strokes. And if you are above 16 years, you can get 16 strokes. That is within the law. Strange. Parliament has never seen this. Can you imagine? Corporal punishment, any form of torture, is prohibited by the Constitution. That you cannot inflict physical torture on any human being, but the Prisons Act provides for that. What is Parliament doing? Are our prisoners, our relatives in prison, getting 10 strokes of the cane? Are they getting 18 strokes of the cane? It goes on to say that in Section 4, a medical officer may give such orders for the prevention of injury to the health of the offender. Can you imagine that before one gets those strokes of the cane, a medical doctor must supervise the health condition of the prisoner? After that, look whether that prisoner can be able to stand those cases. This is bad law, but it is law. Kenyans will be mad with this one. But Section 50, as I've said, Section 55 provides for corporal punishment to be given to people who are in prison. That is a very, very strange concept. Another strange concept in the Prisons Act is the requirement that one will not serve for all the term the court has given. It is called remission. Are you aware there is a provision for what is called remission. Have you seen somebody at home who was sentenced to 10 years? After 7 years, you see that person coming home. What happens? Section 46 of the Prisons Act provides that if somebody is sentenced to prison and that person is of good conduct, that person goes there, he becomes a preacher. That person goes to prison, he becomes a good missionary. That person goes there, he becomes a good lawyer. That person goes there, he becomes a good journalist. He's very good discipline-wise. The law provides that a third of his sentence will be removed. So if somebody went in for 12 years, he will only serve 9 years. If somebody went in for 3 months, that person will serve only for 2 months. That is the power given to the prison officers. So those prison officers, those prisoners watching Court Helicopter, listen to what Section 46 says. If you are of good conduct, if you are not fighting other prisoners, if you are behaving well, your term will be reduced by a third. 2, if you are also of bad character, remember in prison, they are paid for work done. Only people for murder and only remandees are not allowed to work. Other people who are serving any sentence are working, and they are paid at the end of their prison term. They will be calculated and be paid for work done for government. If you do a bad character, if you are mischievous in court, in prison, then you lose the power. You will not get remission. Court Helicopter News today on prison matter. 1, Court Helicopter News is mad that there is the law that allows corporal punishment, caning by strokes in prison, and that is Section 55. And we shall be instructing Sheria Mtaani by Shadrack Wamboi to move to court to challenge that provision so that we don't have anybody being caned in prison. It degrades the human dignity, it degrades the dignity of a person. And number 2, we have also appreciated that those who in prison are doing well in terms of reformation. Remember, if people are taken to prison for reformation, the law in Section 46 provides that they can get a third of their sentence cut off. Keep watching, keep following. Every weekend, Court Helicopter News brings you the latest that happens, but the question is, but what is the law? Wakili Danstan Omari, thank you. See you in the next episode.